Hello, welcome. I am Jenna. I'm the host of the Book of Jenna podcast, and I am so grateful that you're here and that you found me. Today, we are going to continue talking about what I covered in my first podcast. And while we're not going to be talking completely about the entire topic, I want to go in and break things down a little further. And what I mean by that is the last podcast, we went over sucking, not skipping, and how you can completely suck at something, but you can't skip it if it's towards your goal. And it got me to thinking and going in and processing further goals and what that looks like. And I know for myself, I probably haven't been breaking down goals the way I should be in order to make it mm, accessible to maybe what I'm having happen in my life at a given time. And what I mean by that is we have a lot of chaos in our lives, whether it's wanted or unwanted. And I think that sometimes overstimulation, things being so chaotic that we don't typically have the ability to in our minds, right? I'm not saying that this is that we don't have the ability, but in our mind at the end of the day, sometimes we feel as though we don't have the ability to complete what it takes to get to our goal because we haven't gone in depth into that goal. And so, in this podcast and in this episode, I really want to talk about what that means and how we can break down our goals, our big goals, how we can use that feeling of having completed that goal before it is done to tackle the small goals inside of that and to have a positive outcome. And so, what I mean by that is, I don't know if you guys have ever set a goal and said, you know what, in 3 months, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. Or in 3 months, I will have posted consistently every week to my social media, or in my case, for my podcast. And so that goal is beautiful, right? And the either one of them or any goal. I'm going to keep my house clean for or I'm going to get my house clean in 3 months or whatever it is. I'm going to pay off my debt in 3 months. I don't care what you're doing. And obviously it doesn't have to be 3 months, but I think that sometimes, at least for me, I get so hyper fixated on that end goal and how sometimes it feels impossible. And that feeling overwhelms me so much. I don't do anything. And I don't know if any of you are like that, or maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm crazy. And honestly, I could be, right? But I am going to bet that I have a few crazy friends out there, and I'm so grateful for you because I feel as though in a world that demands so much from us, we are spread so thin, especially as women. We were never meant to be spread thin like this. And so, for us to evolve and adapt, and I don't want to say fit in because I don't think that that's the right word because I don't want to fit in. But I think in order to prioritize myself, this is what I keep coming back to as something that will work or it could work, right? Something that's worth a shot because I've tried it many other ways. And sometimes going back to the basics that maybe you weren't taught is where you need to be. And so I've really been thinking a lot about the goal, right? The goal of 21 podcasts. We're now at 20 though, right? Because I am technically recording this. But 21 podcasts. That's the goal. How do you break that down into smaller goals? Because I think that's the key, but I don't think that's the only key. And so I'm going to cover the pieces that I really think are clutch here. And you know me, I have a couple questions for you to ponder at the end because I want you to think as well because you deserve it and you deserve to reach your goals. What a sad world it would be if I didn't ask you thought provoking questions so that you could live your best life too. I think we all deserve that. And so, um, backwards planning, we do this a lot in the military, and I've really forgotten quite a bit about it because, well, I tried to avoid a lot of things for a long time. And sometimes avoidance is not good. Actually, all the time, avoidance is not good. But I also believe that people have to get to things on their own timing. So, I was really thinking about backwards planning and goals. And I listened to quite a few podcasts and different I loosely call them spiritual. They are very spiritual, but I don't know that they would want me to classify them as that either. So I listen to these podcasts that are really about like living in the end result, right? Living in the end of what is it going to feel like to you when you lose 10 pounds? How are you going to feel at the end of 3 months when you lose 10 pounds? Well, you're going to feel amazing, right? You're just going to be so proud of yourself because you did it. And how am I going to feel when I've posted my 20-second podcast? I'm going to feel great because I did it and because I hit my goal. Um, and having that feeling and feeling what that will mean to you is so important. But one thing that I have been doing or not doing, I guess, depending on how you look at this, is I haven't been using that feeling very much along the way. And I'm very much living in that feeling of the end result and how I'm going to feel and the energy that's going to come through my body. And like the fact that I'm going to stand up taller, the fact that I'm going to be really proud of myself for doing what I said I would for once. Not that I don't do small things that I say that I will, but this is really important to me. And I still am fearful of it. And so maybe it's a fear of how great it can be that makes me not follow through for myself, right? And so maybe the same thing is happening to you. Maybe you're afraid of losing those 10 pounds because someone's going to say something negative or because someone's going to say, "Ah, I wish I could do that," or whatever whatever your fear is. Maybe you're afraid of who you might be when you lose those 10 pounds. I don't know. I because I don't even know what it is for myself sometimes, right? So I think getting to that feeling of how do I believe I'm going to feel? How do I want to feel? Because I want to be proud of myself at the end of these 21 episodes. That's the feeling I want to have. I also want to have the feeling that I was able to help someone, even one person, change their perspective and give themselves a happier life. Like, I want to feel that at the end. And I think we have to use that feeling every time we complete a small goal on the way to our larger goal. And one thing I know for me that I have not been doing is setting those smaller goals. So, yesterday I sat down and I wrote down my big goals. What are my big goals? I want to lose 10 pounds, but really I just want to tone up. But that looks like losing 10 pounds. I want to do 21 podcasts. I want to spend more intentional time with my family. And so, because those are important to me, those are my big goals. And so, what I did after that is I went and I sat down and I wrote my goals for the week. Okay, well, I want to post one podcast every 5 days. Well, okay. So now I went and I broke that goal down even further. Okay, so I want to post every 5 days. So, how often do I need to be recording? And I broke that down. So, okay, every day, at least every other day, I need to be recording. Okay, well, let's break that down even further. You see where I'm going here? And it's breaking down to the very basic task, because I think that that is where you can suck but you can't skip it really comes into play, is in that very small task that's still a goal. For me, I hadn't been looking at it that way. It was still, I don't know why, maybe it's just the way my brain works, but it was still just a foreign language almost. Like I have this big goal, and maybe it's because I was never taught goal setting. I'm uncertain, guys, but I found this so aha for myself that I really hope that it's aha for you as well. And so now I have a task list every day of what I need to do in order to reach my end goal. So now it's I can't skip this task, because this task of, you know, going to the gym at 5 a.m., that's what gets me to my goal. If I skip my 5 a.m. workout, I'm not working out the rest of the day. I'm not. And I won't. I know myself. And that's where you have to be really honest with yourself in these goals. So for me, when it came to my podcast, I am the type of person that if I get into a creative flow and the words are just coming to me and I feel connected, I'm going to record. At first, I wasn't going to. And I had a conversation with my friend and I was like, it just doesn't feel authentic. And she was like, but why not? When you get into a flow, it's extremely authentic. And I was like, man, I'm so glad I got you, because I wouldn't have I would have shamed myself for not putting in the work every day. And that isn't how we get to where we want to be, because we're all different. And so I'm not an everyday kind of person. Some days the flow is not there, and that's okay. Arrange your smaller goals to fit your design type or your flow and your alignment. Because when you try to set goals that match the standard of society, it's not going to work, because you are not the standard of society. None of us are. And so I think when we start reframing how we look at what our goals are, if you are not a morning person, I wouldn't tell you to work out first thing when you wake up in the morning. It wouldn't be conducive to your goals. You wouldn't reach them. It would be a task you would skip because it doesn't fit you. And I think it's so important for us to honor who we are and honor where we soar the most, right? If you're a night person, maybe your creative flow comes at night. Maybe 9 o'clock at night is the best time for you to paint. I don't know. If you're a morning person, you probably want to get up and get ready to go and start your day at 5 a.m. That's how I am. I'm usually, let me get up, let me start my day. I'm the type of person that I can just start going immediately. I don't need a warm up. But my daughter, she loves to sleep till 10 a.m. and then start her day, but she doesn't like to work out when she first wakes up in the morning. She likes to give herself an hour to lay in bed and to just start her day going. If not if, I was trying to have her work out early and it was awful. It was awful. She would cry. She hated it. Everything I suggested that she did was awful and just how dare you? So I said, okay, plan it how you want it. Plan your day. And now she's like, I worked out. I took my shower. I had breakfast before I worked out. She's so much happier because it's right for who she is. I can't make her live in my flow. We're not even the same kind of person. She's a manifester. I'm a manifesting generator. We have different batteries. So I really want you to make sure that when you're setting these goals, they honor who you are, not who people say you should be. And I believe that that makes the skipping it so much harder because you want to do it. Whether it's you want to suck or we want to suck less, either way, it fuels you instead of burns you out. So those are some thoughts that I have had regarding this skipping it and how we can stop doing that. So I really want you to just remember who you are. Think back to when you were a kid. Think back to what lit you up. Think back to those feelings. Because sometimes I feel like, at least for me, I can, mm, I am unable to completely tap in to what lights me up because of all of the programming surrounding us. And I think back to when I was a kid and what made me feel good and what made me happy. And I tap into those emotions, or I tap into a moment where I felt the happiest. It could be in adulthood. Um, Everybody's story is different, right? And so I really want you to go inward and talk to yourself. Figure out why this goal is important to you. Don't do something because people said you should. I think it really needs to be something from within that you desire. Because when you start making goals for other people's happiness, you're robbing yourself and you're depleting yourself and you're punishing yourself, whether you think you are or you're not, subconsciously. So, really make sure that the goals that you have on your list are your goals. And then I really want you to tap into how will it feel when I complete this goal? How am I going to feel? What am I going to look like? What will my life look like? What will my bank account look like? What will my wardrobe look like? I really want you to just get in there and really feel it in every fiber of who you are. And then I want you to think about completing your small goals, your small tasks. And I want you to feel those same emotions because when you do complete the small tasks that we're no longer skipping, you get to feel that every time you complete it. Allow your body to feel the same feeling for that small daily goal that you have for the end goal. And the sooner you can get into that, the sooner you can tap into that, the sooner it's going to happen. And I know that sounds wild, but believe me, the sooner that will happen. Sorry, guys. I gotta change the lock screen on my computer or move my mouse, apparently. Okay, so now I want you to I'm trying to look at my notes because I did write some notes down. I love to write down the questions as they come to me so that I can answer some of them on here, and then I can give them to you so that you can really think about them. Okay, so then I want you to also think about when I want you to, every night, I want you to sit down, lay down before you close your eyes and drift off to dreamland. I want you to ask yourself, what does it feel like to not skip, but to suck at it? And just take notice of the feelings that you're having inside of your body, that the thoughts that you're having, like, how do I feel now that I am doing the tasks and not skipping them? What does that feel like? Am I proud of myself? Do I feel good? How does my body feel? Is she proud of herself? And really notice, because we want to, the goal is to honor who we are, and our bodies will tell us who we are before our minds ever will. And so I really want you to just focus on your mind, not your mind, just kidding, your body and what she's telling you. Um, Okay. So we did talk about how I see the big goal and I get overwhelmed. Do you do the same thing? Do you see the big goal and then feel like, "Oh shit, that's a lot. How am I going to get there? How am I going to do that?" Um Break it down. Break it down. Give yourself bite-sized bits to get you to your big goal. I am telling you, I feel so much better knowing every day what my goal towards my big goal is. Get you a notebook, get you a planner, get something where you can write this down and you can carry it with you. I Some of you may enjoy using your phone to do this. I hate it. I definitely am not a fan. I think that there is something so beautiful about getting a pen that you love, some paper that you love. This I love Erin Condren planners and notebooks. They are beautiful. They're a little expensive, but I just think that something like this is really important, and you should absolutely have paper and a notebook and a pen that make you feel good when you open it up, because that is the end goal. Whatever your goal is, the outcome is to feel good about yourself, right? To feel good about something you did, something you said you were going to do, and then you followed through. And so if that means spending $60 on a planner, I'm telling you to do it, because the paper is unlike any other paper. It is beautiful. And I feel like $1,000,000 when I open up my Erin Condren planner and I write and plan my life or write my notes or do my budget. I just feel good, and you should too. So get you something that makes you feel that way. If it is a beautiful planner from Dollar Tree, I say do it. Do it. I love my scented pens I got from Dollar Tree. They're my favorite right now. They make me feel like I'm 12 again, and it brings me joy. And so I think when you're planning out your life and your goals and who you want to be and where you want to go, it should be full of things that bring you joy, because it is joyful to do this. And it is a beautiful gift that we can And we have the ability to change who we are and the trajectory of our lives at any given moment. So I say have fun. Um, so this kind of goes into the next question. That was a great segue, Jenna. And I didn't even know it. Um, are you enjoying the experience or are you going through the motions? Are you enjoying this? Are you having fun working towards your goal? Or does it feel like work? Some things may feel like work at first, right? Maybe if you're working out, that does, and you haven't in a long time, that probably does feel like work. Are you doing workouts that you enjoy or are you punishing yourself? Because I think that in the beginning, you should be doing things that you enjoy. Fitness is supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be happiness. You're supposed to feel good. Your body's getting that dopamine, you're moving it. It should be a joyous time. And that's how I have been approaching my podcast business. Am I having fun? Am I enjoying my goal? Do I love what I'm doing? If not, why am I sharing anything? People will feel that. And so in you at the end of the day, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel if you're enjoying it or not. And if you're not enjoying it, you're not going to stick to it. So if you're going to the gym and lifting weights and you hate it, find you a class. Get a class. Or maybe you need to go for a run for a while instead, or maybe walking. Do what you enjoy when you start this out because it's important. I firmly believe that. So that is what I'm going to that's the soapbox I'm going to stand on. Okay. So my last thought for this before we wrap it up, yes, is how do we celebrate the small wins to keep ourselves going? Now, I did touch on this right in the beginning where I said you have to have the same feeling for these small wins that you have for the big goal. That energy inside of your body is going to keep you going. It really is. But if you need to celebrate, I would suggest something that is small and more meaningful. Maybe talking to yourself in the mirror and just saying, you know what? I'm really proud of you. We reached that goal. That was incredible. Look at yourself in the eyes and say it to yourself. Maybe it's, I don't even know because I haven't really thought about this, to be honest with you guys. I have just kind of decided that my small victory is knowing that I kept my word to myself. I don't need to celebrate too big. I don't need too much. Maybe texting my friend and saying, hey, look what I did. I recorded 2 podcasts. So I'm killing it. Just to get somebody to tell you you're doing a good job, because sometimes that's all we need is we just need somebody to acknowledge that we're doing a good job. Because while we know we live in a world where reassurance is the biggest blessing, and because trauma is a doozy, and sometimes you just need somebody to say, hey, I'm proud of you for doing your goal. You hit your goal and I'm really proud of you for that. And that's important. It's so important. So find a way that celebrates the win, but doesn't derail the progress. Because at the end of the day, we just got through the day and we got a new day tomorrow and we got to get through that one too. And so if you celebrated every day in a way that delayed your progress, we're working backwards. So, I think that that is all that I have for tonight. I say tonight, it's 7:30 here in Florida. I'm really disappointed that it's so dark already. And then I can't believe that in a couple weeks we're going to be even darker earlier. I wish we could change that. I think it should be sunny all the time. I love it when the summer is here and it's dark at like 10 o'clock at night. I just think that that is heavenly. But I hope that all of you are having a beautiful day wherever you are, whatever time it is. I hope that it is sunshine if you want it. If not, I hope it is the rainy day in bed that you need and that you are able to enjoy the slowness that rainy, sometimes dreary days bring. Um, as always, if you feel so compelled, I would love for you to like, share, and follow so that you can keep hearing all of this goodness that I'm going to bring to your ears. Sometimes I'm still very awkward on here because small talk to the abyss is weird. And it's not even, I guess it is a little small talky. But anyway, you guys, I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful life and that things are flowing nicely for you and that you feel so important and worthy because you are. All right. Much love.